Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about knife fighting. The first thing I'll say about knife fighting is that if you get in close with somebody, good chance you're both going to end up stabbed. Okay, so we want to maintain distance. Maintaining distance is going to allow us to see what's going on in the fight. Now the example that I like to use is that if you're standing on the side of the road and you've got a car going by at 60 miles an hour, you can't see what the driver is doing inside the car. However, if you're driving down the road, in another vehicle, right, and you both got relatively the same speeds and you're going in the same directions, you can now look over and you can see what the driver is doing in the car next to you, right? You can see if if he's drinking his coffee or if he's looking at his phone or whatever. But the reason is because you're both going in the same direction at roughly the same speed. So that's the first concept in knife fighting or even sword fighting. It's distance and timing. Okay, we want to be able to maintain and match distance, and within that distance, we want to time our attacks or counterattacks. Okay, so that's the first concept that comes out in any hand-to-hand combat. Now, in the manuals that I like to look at, the German manuals, I'm going to be borrowing some stuff from the longsword system. Okay. Now, the reason they did have dagger fighting during medieval times, they tended to fight a stabbing style from these high stabs. Okay, and the reason is because back then people wore multiple layers of cloth, and cuts did not work very well against those, so they needed these powerful overhanded stabs. Okay, and there's a whole system of fighting dedicated to that. And by all means, if you're ever fighting against somebody that's got, it looks like they got a heavy winter jacket on, that's going to make a more effective stab. You're not going to be able to cut through a winter coat. Okay, but let's assume that we're fighting with t-shirts, or that kind of stuff. For that, I'll borrow from the longsword system. In that system, they got basically 4 guards. Okay, they got a high guard. Okay, they got a low guard, they got some kind of a hanging guard, okay, and then they got a side guard, right? And you can have a side guard on this side, you can have it on this side, you can have a hanging guard on this side, you can have a hanging guard on that side, okay? So basically, those are your 4 guards, and what they're basically doing is they're starting in one guard, and they're making an attack, and they're ending up in some other guard. In this case, I'm in a low guard, and then they can attack, come to a guard over here, attack, come to a guard here, attack, come to a guard over here. Okay, so they got these 4 guards. Okay, and again, I'll review them. We got a guard, a high guard. Okay, you got a low guard. Okay, you got a hanging guard on the right side, hanging guard on the left side, side guard on the left side, on the right side, and side guard on the left side. Okay, so those are your 4 guards. Now, the reason why I brought up distance and timing is that if you're being attacked, what you want to do is basically you want to step back, okay? So you're matching the speed of the incoming attacker, and then you can see what they're doing, okay? Because if you don't step back, you're not going to be able to sense where that blade is. For example, if I'm here, am I stabbing? Am I cutting? Am I cutting low? Am I cutting high? You can't see that. But if you're stepping back, okay, and matching their speed, okay, now all of a sudden you start seeing things, and at the same time you're out of the reach of their blade. Okay. Now, as far as the target area, the initial counter strike is going to be against the blade or their arm. Okay. So basically, think of the arm as one long weapon. Okay. So as they're attacking, depending on what you're in one of these guards, and what you want to do is meet their blade or their arm. Okay, and basically that's defensive in its nature. By you meeting their blade, that's going to stop their attack. Okay, if you hit them somewhere on the hand or the arm, that may disarm them. Okay, it may or may not. From this position here, what you're going to do is you're going to continue, to one of these other guards. Most likely, if I started up here, I'm going to probably end up down here. Okay, I'm using this hand to kind of block their blade, and from this position here, I'm in a position to either stab, okay, cut. In which case I'm going to end up on the guard on this side, in which case I'm in a position to stab, okay? Step back, cut. So basically the fight continues from there. So that's the basic idea of this fighting system of fighting with the knife. Okay, you're maintaining distance. Okay, you're starting in one of these 4 guards, and you are cutting into another guard, or you can even stab into another guard. Okay, the problem with the stab is that it does not. It's very hard to block an incoming blow. Okay, so if somebody's stabbing at me and I'm stabbing back, it's a little too easy for both of us to get stabbed. Okay, because the stab is basically going for their body. Okay, whereas the cut is going for the arm. Okay, so my initial counterattack would be a cut to meet their cut. Okay, and then from that position, you're in a position to stab, cut, stab again. Again, working the 4 corners, and attacking, making a cut or a stab as you progress from one guard to the other. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you got any questions, let me know. I'll see you guys next time.